Hello, welcome back to my next video in Vedic astrology. In this video I'm going to talk about Jupiter if it happens to be in your first house. The first house, as you all know, is the ascendant, and this is the rising sign on the eastern horizon. So it means that Jupiter is also rising on the eastern horizon when you are born. So it is like a lighthouse, always guiding you throughout your life. So in case a bad dasha bhukti happens, and then let's say you're going through a very bad transit of Saturn or Jupiter, whatever it is, despite that, for all those people in the world who have Jupiter in the first house, they will always notice that no matter how much the situations push them to the edge of the cliff, at the very end there is this helping hand of God and is restored back to the original point, and then the fear is all gone. So this is something that is noticed by anybody who has Jupiter in the first house. So if you have this combination in your horoscope, say always thank God that you must have done something good in your past life. Maybe you taught good things to people, you were good, and you were always connected to God, and that's why the good energies are always trying to protect you in this life. This Jupiter in Lagna, if it is alone, you get one kind of result, and if it is with other planets, influenced by other planets, then of course it gets modified. Another important point that you need to be aware of is that it is not a good idea to use just the Rashi chart alone, the basic chart. You always have to also refer to the Bhava chart and reconfirm if Jupiter has remained in the first house and not slipped backwards into the 12th, which can happen. Let's say if Jupiter is more than 15 degrees behind the actual ascendant degree. So in case Jupiter is right in the first house in your Bhava chart, then this video is for you. So watch till the end of this video, so you will gain a lot. Jupiter represents knowledge. What the ancient book says is if Jupiter is in the first house, you will be learned, you will be well versed in Shastras and the Vedas. But it doesn't mean that today in the 21st century you study only the scriptures. It also means that you will be very knowledgeable with the knowledge that is available even in the current times. So that is one aspect, and if Jupiter is in Lagna, then you yourself will be a great guru, a teacher, and you will be taught very well by your teachers and professors, so they'll also be good to you and you will be good to them, and you always get attracted to all the divine things in this. If you get a book, let's say a book like an autobiography of a yogi, I'm sure you will not drop that book until you finish till the very end. Jupiter in the first means that you will always be after knowledge and you'll always fight for the good. The most important thing is that Jupiter in the Lagna not only protects your Lagna, which means your health, your physique, the way you look, it gives you a grand appearance, it attracts people to you, and apart from this, Jupiter, by being in the first, looks at the fifth house, protects the house of children, gives you a lot of creative energies. You can combine knowledge with creativity, and it will give you a very good sense of how to conduct yourself. You will be away from possibly wastage of time by gambling and things associated with gambling, drugs and all those things. So Jupiter aspects the ninth from the first house, and the ninth house is the actual place of guru, teacher, God, father, where you get a lot of guidance and protection. So single-handedly, Jupiter covers the first house, the fifth and the ninth. These are the most important houses in your horoscope, and that's the reason why we say wow whenever we find that Jupiter is in Lagna. So in Briga Sutra, Jupiter in the first house, if it happens to be in Sagittarius or Pisces, which is Dhanush or Meena, which is because Jupiter is in its own house, and especially in Sagittarius because that is also its Mula Trikona. The native will be a good speaker and well versed in Shastras. Shastras may simply mean knowledge. He will have full knowledge of the three Vedas and will have a good number of children and will be happy, long lived and learned. If Jupiter is in the sign of exaltation, which happens when it is in Cancer, then Sage Bhrigu says, all the above results will be fully realized, and the native will enjoy the effects of Maharaja Yoga starting from the age of 16, which is caused by Jupiter. Of course, then in the next paragraph, we have certain things like if Jupiter is in the house of an enemy, or is the house of a malefic, or is associated with malefics, aspected by malefics, etc., then this would change slightly to the negative side. There will be the unstable mind and it will not give long life. There may be problem with children, and there's a possibility of being ungrateful to others and full of vanity, may forsake relations, will not take care of the social obligations, and may like travel a lot, and will be generally angry with others. Whenever you read an astrology book like this, you'll always be told that if these conditions are met with, then you get this result, and if Jupiter is in these places, then it gets altered. Yes, it is true of astrology, and that's why astrology is somewhat complicated. It's not so easy. You can't just say Jupiter in the first will give the same results. But let me say one thing, that before concluding if Jupiter is weak simply by debilitation or some other affliction, it is always better to recheck with the Shadbala of Jupiter. This is one method. And then also check the Jupiter's Ashtagavarga, where Jupiter sits in your horoscope, and if that place has got more than 4 points, if it is 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, it is extraordinary. Let's say it got 7 or 8, then even if the Jupiter was debilitated in your horoscope or afflicted by malefics, even then it will be a wonderful Jupiter. So there is no doubt about all these things. So the main point is that if Jupiter is weak in Shadbala, then in Vimshopaga strength it is weak, and then it is debilitated and it is afflicted by Rahu, which is just the opposite of Jupiter. Jupiter means knowledge and Rahu means ignorance. So if these conditions are there, then whatever we said first is not likely to happen. But I feel that if it is so, even then you can improve this Jupiter in the first house by doing the remedies connected to the afflicting planets in your chart. Say if it is Rahu, then you know that Rahu will try to give you a bloated ego. All you have to do is to control that kind of an urge to boast about yourself. If it is Saturn that is afflicting Jupiter, then it means you might spend a lot of time on negative thinking. So you need to get to a guru or a teacher and then clear that confusion off each time. So don't worry about it. So if this is your Lagna and then you have Jupiter here, then this is very, very good. And if it is alone, it is all the more good. It gives you a Panchamahapurush Yoga called the Hamsa Yoga. If it is this Lagna and then you have Jupiter here, even then this is a very good a Jupiter, because this Jupiter is in its own house. If this is your Lagna and you have Jupiter here, then this is a Maharaja Yoga. It's a very special yoga because the ninth lord is in the first and is exalted and is occupying the first. From here, Jupiter looks at the fifth house, and from here it looks at the ninth house. The fifth is a very important trinal house, and the ninth house is a very important trinal house. It's basically everything to do with past life luck, and this is the projected future. So 159, this trine, you can see here 159. All the three places are covered by Jupiter whenever it happens to be in the first house. Lord Rama had Jupiter here exalted, and he also had Mars here. This is in the seventh house. So here you find Mars and Jupiter are looking at each other. So Mars is the warrior. So in case of Lord Sri Rama, you find that he used the courage and the physical strength to fight for the sake of good, for establishing Dharma. Let's say we have Jupiter here and then Rahu here. Because Rahu is influencing Jupiter, strike by the seventh house aspect, the good things of Jupiter will get hidden because they will be influenced by Rahu, which is ignorance, and so this will somewhat suppress Jupiter and take Jupiter to the negative side, where they will feel that they are very knowledgeable and they will not listen to others. They seem to say always that I know everything, don't tell me what I should do. And these kind of things can happen when Rahu influences Jupiter. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure you have a few questions to ask, and whatever be the questions, please type them out in the comment section, and I'll be glad to answer them whenever I find the time. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe.